Good morning, everybody. Auronnj here with another Final Fantasy VII EverCrisis video, and today I'm going to give you the complete guide on how to reroll in EverCrisis. I'm going to tell you how to go about rerolling, what you should reroll for, what banners to roll on, which that will matter a lot, and then I'm just going to tell you why I don't think it's going to suck that much to reroll in EverCrisis. I am somebody who hates rerolling in gacha games. I hate going through a tedious process just to fail over and over and over again, and then at the end of the day I'm like, I'm just done. Like, I'm done rerolling. I'm just going to take my account and roll, and I'm exhausted and didn't get to play today. That's not going to be the case with EverCrisis. First of all, the process of rerolling seems really easy. There was a delete account button in beta. Now, we couldn't click the button, it was disabled, but that there is a delete account button means the reroll process probably goes something like this. You play the game, you receive your pre-registration rewards, you go summon with those rewards at your earliest possible convenience. If you don't get a good roll, if you don't get what you wanted, you hit delete account, you do it all over again. Super simple. That should not require making a whole bunch of Google accounts. It should not require having to uninstall and reinstall the game a bunch of times. It seems like the development team has just given a nod to the fact that players are going to reroll, and if that's how that works, thank you developers for that little hookup right there. That encourages me a lot to reroll, and I think a lot of other people as well. If that changes when the game goes live, I'll make an update video about it. I'll make a guide if I need to, but if that's all it is, you don't need a guide. You just click delete account and try again. Now, the more interesting side of this is what you should reroll for and which banners you should reroll on. With the pre-registration rewards, we are getting over 10 multi-pulls in pre-registration rewards. Some of that is in summon tickets, and I'm sure those summon tickets will be locked onto a certain banner, so a little bit less choice there. But for the most part, with any of that premium currency that we're getting as rewards, you have options. And one of the beauties of EverCrisis is you can make top-tier teams out of lots of different characters using several different weapons. You are not locked in to one premium character and one premium weapon, and if you don't have it, you're just unable to play the game in-game. This is a PvE game, and there are many combinations of teams that will work at the in-game, but you do need a couple of things. And so I'm going to tell you how to get a couple of those things. Now, with your premium currency, I think you're going to want to spend those on the featured banners. For example, in beta, we had a Cloud/Barret featured banner, and there's the pity system on those. And the pity system is really the focus of your rerolls. This is where you can get lucky or unlucky. And I don't just mean in pulling the on banner thing, I mean the pity system itself. It is one of the best pity systems I've ever seen in a gacha game. It is a stamp card. At stamp 6, you are guaranteed you get to select one of the featured weapons on the banner, and you will pity it on stamp 6. And then on stamp 12, you get the featured gear. And gear was much harder and much rarer to get in beta than the weapons. In fact, these cards were often the only times besides pushing through story content that you had access to this gear. So you're really wanting to pick a banner and target that 12th spot on the bingo card, so you get that piece of featured gear. Now, typically when you do a multi-pull, you will get one stamp for the card. However, as you're seeing on the screen right now, there's a chance to get 3 stamps for the card. There's a chance to get 6 stamps for the card, and there's a 1% chance to get all 12 stamps. Essentially clear the bingo card in one pull, and you get the weapon that you chose, and you get the piece of gear. That would technically be your most efficient re-roll option. Would be start the game, and within your first 1 or 2 or 3 multis, hit that 12 stamp roll, get your card done, save the rest of your pulls for other things, and you're off to the races at that point. But it's only a 1% chance. Now, in gacha games, 1% chances really aren't that bad, but we're real humans here, and many of us have lives, and we don't have all day to bet on a 1% chance. So me personally, I will just be making sure most of my early multi-pulls on those banners are not 1 stamp. I want like 3 or 6, something like that. I want multiple stamps. I believe 2 was an option. I want multiple stamps per pull. I just want to make sure that I clear the banner that I select's bingo card with the pre-registration rewards. That's really my goal. Get that done, get that premium gear for my unit. I'll probably target Cloud because he's really cool. His Murasame plus his lightning damage up gear was clutch in killing bosses. So I'm going to make sure I clear that bingo board with just my pre-registration rewards. That's my goal. If you want to be more hardcore than that and go for the 12 stamp on the first pull, you do you, boss. That just seems like it's going to take too long for me. That's not all though. That is the most straightforward part, or the most obvious part, I think, of the reroll guide. But let me tell you something else that you absolutely need to clear in-game content in this game. That's AoE healing. Technically speaking, there are 4 characters in this game that can AoE heal, I believe. There's Cloud, Aerith, Matt, and Red the 13th. I'm going to put Red the 13th off to the side. I talked about this in my tier list video. He did not have the stats and the abilities to in-game AoE heal in his current state. Maybe he's buffed, maybe that changes. If so, we'll address that when it happens. But that leaves 3, Cloud, Aerith, and Matt as viable AoE healing options. For me personally, I think Cloud is much better as a boss killer, single target DPSer. You know, get your element weapon, get your element gear, beat down some bosses with your lightning attacks. So I'm not going to include Cloud in this either. I want to talk about Aerith and Matt and AoE healing. On every banner in this game, like when you're pulling on these featured banners, you get to select off-banner boosted drop rate weapons. It is one of the coolest features I've ever seen in a game, because the 5-star drop rate in this game is 7.5%. That is incredibly high for a gacha game. The UR or 5-star or whatever top drop rate being at 7.5%. Oh my gosh, you get 5-star weapons in this game constantly. You will do so many multi-pulls with multiple 5-star drops in it because the rates are so high. However, there are so many different weapons in this game that you are going to collect a lot of 5 stars, but they're going to be spread all over the place. And if there's just a couple you want, it's going to take a lot of luck to get them, except that you can boost the rates of certain things. So I'm going to suggest 2 weapons to boost on your first pulls, and I will not be starting my account until I get one of these 2. It's Fairy Tale for Aerith and Prime Number for Matt. These give access to AoE healing, and these characters are characters that can keep your group alive by themselves in in-game fights, or at least in as far in-game as we were able to get in the beta. There is no way I was pushing content as far as I could without 5-star Fairy Tale on my Aerith, because this allowed my Cloud and my Lucia, a lot of times in my accounts, to focus on killing the mobs and killing the bosses. The PvE in this game is timed. You have only a certain amount of time to finish the round, so you can't really just full-on turtle up like you could do. Like Honkai Star Rail, for example, you can turtle in that game. If you're tanky enough and you can sustain, you could just say, all right, here we go. I'm just going to wait and I'm going to turtle up and I'll eventually kill you. Nope. It's a bit of a DPS race in this game, so you need 2 of your characters focusing on debuffing and killing the enemy. You kind of only need 1 character to be healing. Aerith and Matt can do that for you with the Fairy Tale or Prime Number respectively. So boost the drop rate of those 2 weapons on the banners that you're pulling on. Make sure you collect one of those, and I would say make sure you clear one of your bingo cards. If you accomplish those things, I believe you are off to the races, and at this point your account's going to fly. It's a PvE only game for right now, right? There's no PvP, so the meta will be, hey, have a team that can beat the game. If you have a team that can beat the game, you're not worried about chasing like somebody at the top of an arena ranking tier list. Personally, I love PvP in my gacha games. It's something that keeps me in the game for years and years and years. I like following the meta, all of that, but I also spend money in the games, and so I understand how the a PvP meta can kind of encourage people to spend money, and some folks don't like that. Cool, I get that. This is a PvE game, so make sure you got some healing, make sure you're finishing off some bingo boards, and your account's gonna be doing good, man. Your account's gonna be off to the races. So there you go, guys. That's my guide on what you should focus on here in terms of re-rolling. I hope y'all have a great time with the game. I'm gonna try to stream on Thursday and stream my re-rolls. Hopefully it's a really short stream where I don't re-roll at all because I luck out the first time. And then I believe I have another stream I'm going to be doing for this on the Monday after the game comes out. Maybe the weekend, but I got my kid this weekend. So I'll be playing, but streaming time probably, hey, he's 2. He doesn't really like to, I don't know what I do with him while I stream. I guess he just burns the house down and then I lose. All right, thank y'all for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll catch you next time. Peace.